All right, so today we're going to take a journey up a winding staircase. But this isn't just any old set of stairs, you know? It's a symbolic path for self development, a kind of curriculum for enlightenment that comes straight from the teachings of Freemasonry. So let's start the climb. The whole thing kicks off with this really powerful idea. It frames Freemasonry not as some static set of rules, but as a dynamic process. It's a progressive moral science. This means it's not just about being a good person. The real goal is to become an enlightened one. It's a progression, a science of improving yourself one step at a time.
So this shows you that first big shift in the journey. In what they call the first degree, the work is all on the rough ashlar, which is you, your inner self. It's about chipping away at those moral vices and imperfections. But then, in the second degree, the job completely changes. You move from just fixing what's broken to actually building something beautiful. You go from simply being a good person to truly adorning your mind.
So, how do you start adorning the mind? Well, that's when you get an invitation to climb the winding stairs. Think of it as a symbolic path leading you from the outer porch of a temple, which represents where you start, to a place of much, much deeper knowledge. It's all about making that leap from the literal tools of a stonemason to the speculative truths of a deep thinker.
All right, let's take those first few steps. This initial part of the climb is all about purifying how we think and how we communicate. I mean, you have to get your own house in order before you can really start to understand the world outside, right? These are what we call the tools of the word.
So these first three arts are known as the Trivium, and that literally just means the three ways. They're the absolute foundation for everything else that comes after. If you don't master these, well, the rest of the climb is pretty much impossible.
Now, what's really interesting here is that grammar means so much more than just sentence structure. For a speculative Mason, it's about mastering the meaning of words. Just like a stonecutter has to know exactly what every tool and every stone is for, we have to know the precise meaning of our words to build clear thoughts and, not cause confusion.
And next up, we have rhetoric. Now, this isn't about manipulation or just trying to win an argument. It's the art of speaking the truth so beautifully and so powerfully that it actually inspires people. It's the tool you use to encourage others to do good things and to make virtue and truth just sound irresistible.
And the third step is logic, which is described here as the great leveler of the mind. I mean, think about it. In a world that is just full of illusions and misinformation, logic is your compass. It's the tool that lets you critically analyze and separate what's true from what's false, keeping your mind centered and on track. So when you put them all together, these first three steps, the Trivium, are really about one thing: sharpening your mental working tools. Because without clear language, powerful expression, and sound reason, you just can't possibly grasp the more complex lessons that are waiting for you further up the staircase. Okay, so this brings up a pretty big question, right? You've disciplined your mind, you've mastered the world of language and thought, your tools are sharp. So, now what? Where do you point them? Where do we go next on this journey to enlightenment? Well, the answer is in the next 4 steps. This is where we ascend to the Quadrivium. And this is a huge shift because our focus goes from the human world of language to understanding the divine laws that are literally written into the fabric of the universe itself. As the name suggests, right, the Quadrivium is made up of the 4 ways. These are 4 distinct but totally interconnected disciplines for seeing and making sense of the entire world around us. Let's break these down. Arithmetic, it reminds us that the universe is orderly and that all people are equal. Then there's geometry, which is considered the first and noblest of sciences, the very foundation of the craft. Music teaches us about harmony and proportion, how different things can come together to create a beautiful whole. And finally, astronomy. It makes us look up at the stars and feel a sense of humility, giving us a model of perfect order to guide our own lives by. So, okay, we've climbed 3 steps of language and 4 steps of universal science. We've covered all 7 of the liberal arts. But why? What's the final destination? Why do these specific steps lead to this symbolic middle chamber of the temple? What's the whole point of the climb? And this is the payoff. The middle chamber isn't a physical room, it's a state of being. The destination of this entire intellectual and moral journey is achieving a deep, profound sense of self-knowledge. It all comes together so beautifully, right? First, the Trivium gives you mastery over your inner world, how you think, how you speak.
Second, the Quadrivium gives you mastery over the outer world, how you see and understand the universe. And when you master both of those, boom, you've reached the middle chamber. You're in a state of true integrated self-knowledge.
So what's the reward for all this work? What are the wages you get when you reach this enlightened state? The source is crystal clear on this one. The payment for all this intellectual and spiritual labor is not material. It's not about gold, it's not about silver.
No, the true wage is wisdom. It's the profound ability to look at the world in its tiniest details and its grandest patterns, and to see the divine intelligence, the order, and the beauty in all of it. That is the ultimate reward.
But here's the thing, the journey doesn't just stop. As the source material tells us, this whole process is lifelong. To be a builder of yourself, of your community, of a better world, you have to be a student forever. The moment you stop learning, you stop building.
You know, this Masonic framework is a really powerful blueprint for personal growth that can apply to any of us, no matter what our path is. And it leaves us all with one final big question to think about. What are the 7 steps, the essential arts and sciences that you need to master to build your own middle chamber of self-knowledge?